wasn't the most marketable. He wasn't the most talked about. But he might have been the hardest working golfer who ever lived. Vijay Singh didn't just outwork his peers, he made them question whether they were working at all. He once practiced so relentlessly and hit so many balls on the range that the grass beneath him literally died. Some thought he came off as mechanical. Others said he lacked personality or connection. But no one ever questioned this. If there was a man who could swing forever, it was Vijay Singh. This is the story of the Fijian grinder who went from band rookie to world #1 and built a Hall of Fame career, not with hype, but with repetition. Vijay Singh was born in 1963 in Lautoka, Fiji, far from the manicured fairways of Augusta or Pebble Beach. He was the son of a civil servant, and his family didn't have much. But what they had was golf. His father was an airport engineer and part-time golf instructor, and Vijay learned to play from him. He used coconut tree branches as clubs and coconuts as balls. His family couldn't afford proper equipment, and even golf balls were a luxury. So he improvised with what he had and somehow still fell in love with the game. As you can tell, this wasn't a country club upbringing. It was trial and error. While most juniors played under lights and coaches, Vijay was swinging in the humidity of the South Pacific, with only his instinct and obsession to rely upon. He studied the swings of Jack Nicklaus and Tom Weiskopf on VHS tapes, pausing and rewinding over and over again. He didn't have access to elite trainers, so he became one himself. By the time he left for Asia to play professionally in the early 80s, he had developed one of the purest swings anyone had ever seen. Little did he know that soon he'd also carry a chip on his shoulder that would never really go away. In 1985, Singh was playing the Indonesian Open on the Asian Tour when his career was suddenly derailed. He was accused of altering his scorecard, reportedly dropping strokes to make the cut. Tournament officials claimed it was cheating and issued an indefinite ban from the Asian Tour. Singh, however, has always denied any wrongdoing. He maintained that it was a misunderstanding involving a ruling, not an attempt to cheat. But the label stuck, and it would follow him for years. For a 22-year-old just breaking into the sport, it could have been the end. But Vijay didn't sulk. He packed his bags and kept moving to places like Borneo, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe, where he started winning small events and clawing his way back into relevance. Eventually, he set his sights on Europe. In 1988, with sponsor support, Vijay qualified through European Q School. A year later, he won 4 events on the European Tour and finished 24th on the Order of Merit. He was no longer just surviving, he was making a name for himself. By the early 90s, he earned his PGA Tour card, and when he finally made it to the big leagues in America, he didn't stop grinding. While others were networking, doing media, or hitting the gym, Vijay was on the range, hitting ball after ball, hour after hour. Now we get to the title, the golfer who could swing forever without getting tired. It's true Vijay Singh didn't just practice like any other golfer. It was an all-consuming ritual that defined him more than any coach, stat, or swing ever could. It wasn't uncommon for him to hit over 1,000 balls in a single day. Rain, wind, fatigue, none of it mattered. He would arrive at the range before sunrise and often stay until long after sunset. Players would finish their rounds, grab dinner, even return for a second session, and Vijay would still be there, swinging. At the 2000 Masters, his relentless sessions tore up the practice tee so badly that Augusta National had to resod the entire area. Even Tiger Woods, known for his own legendary routines, once said Vijay probably works harder than anyone else out here. There was no gimmick, no secret formula, just brutal, mind-numbing repetition. And the thing is, it worked. In 1998, Singh won his first major, the PGA Championship at Sahali. It was vindication. The outsider from Fiji, who had once been banned from pro golf, had now climbed to the pinnacle of the sport. But that wasn't the peak. It was just the beginning. In 2000, he added another jewel to his resume, the Masters. He won by 3 shots at Augusta National. He was now a 2-time major winner and doing it on golf's most sacred grounds. Then in 2004, Vijay Singh took over. That year, he won 9 PGA Tour events, including the Deutsche Bank Championship, where he beat Tiger Woods head-to-head. He also claimed his second PGA Championship, this time at Whistling Straits, after a tense playoff with Justin Leonard and Chris DeMarco. By the end of that season, Singh had overtaken Tiger as world number 1, ending his 5-year reign atop the rankings. He also became the PGA Tour's all-time money leader at the time, crossing the $10 million mark for a single season. Despite the results, Vijay was never a fan favorite. He wasn't flashy, and he had a complicated relationship with the press, often blunt and not afraid to push back when he felt misunderstood. In 2003, he drew criticism for a controversial remark about Annika Sorenstam's appearance in a PGA Tour event, saying, "She doesn't belong out here." He later clarified he wasn't being sexist, just that he didn't believe any player should get special treatment, but the damage was done. The media pounced, and public opinion shifted. Then came the 2013 deer antler spray scandal. In an interview, Vijay admitted he'd used a supplement without knowing it had something that the PGA Tour had banned. Even though he never failed a drug test, he was suspended. But soon after, experts said the banned substance wasn't actually present in high enough amounts to matter. The tour dropped the case, but Vijay didn't let it go. He took legal action against the PGA Tour, saying they embarrassed him without good reason. The fight dragged on for 5 years. Just before it was about to go to trial, they settled. The tour admitted he hadn't meant to cheat and praised his character. Still, the damage was done, and the whole ordeal reinforced the perception Vijay wasn't the PGA Tour's golden boy. By the time Singh entered his 40s, most assumed he'd fade away. Instead, he won 22 PGA Tour events after turning 40, more than anyone else in history. He went on to compete on the PGA Tour Champions and continued practicing like he was still trying to make the cut. While his contemporaries slowed down, Vijay just kept going. Because that's who he was from the very beginning, the kid who learned to swing using coconut branches, the young man who didn't stop when he was banned, the golfer who never gave up.